Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and greetings to Dr. Abdullah and our fellow friends. I'm Nasyithah Syathirah together with my teammate Natasya, Insyira, Aishah, Sofea and Aina, Aqilah. Today we would like to present our project work. Without further ado, let's begin with the composition of the test. Generally, this test contained 20 items, 15 objective plus 5 subjective, and the main skill assessed is reading skills. So the first 15 items were objective MCQ. For items 1 to 5, the test takers were required to answer based on the passage. So this passage is categorized under advantages and disadvantages. So part 1 tested the sub-skills which are reading comprehension, skimming and scanning. Thus, the test takers needed to comprehend the questions accurately, besides skim and scan the passage to answer the questions. Next, in items 6 to 10, they were instructed to read and answer based on a blog post. So part 2 tested the sub-skills of identifying points, analyzing differences and similarities, making connections, and comparing and contrasting between multiple texts. Subsequently, items 11 to 15 required test takers to read and identify correct sentences to fill gaps within the given passage. So part 3 used an indirect assessment approach known as selective deletion gap filling, involving sub-skills of reading comprehension, identifying sentences and determining the most suitable sentence from the answer choices at the bottom of the passage. Thus, they must distinguish between answer choices to complete the passage without deviating from the intended meaning, as well as eliminating one answer choice that doesn't logically or contextually fit into the gap. Next, the last 5 items, 15 to 20, were subjective questions, particularly on chronological-based information. The test takers were instructed to read the text in the provided image and then give open-ended responses, particularly writing short answers based on the information given from the text. So part 4 tested sub-skills such as reading comprehension, where the test takers need to understand and extract specific information. Another sub-skill is identifying key details, focusing on important dates, events and causes. So this required chronological understanding as the text presents a timeline of events besides identifying the causes of specific events. The last sub-skills is inferencing, which required them to draw conclusions based on the information provided in the text. So overall, the test takers must carefully read the provided text, skim and scan for the specific information, understand the relationships between information of events, and give concise answers based on their comprehension of the text.
Hi, I'm Natasya and I will be presenting the background of the test takers. So in this test, we have selected second year students from Faculty of Civil Engineering UTM, which is also the ESL learners. This test involving 15 undergraduates within the age bracket of 21 to 22 years old.
Next, I will walk you through the procedure of constructing the reading task we have administered, which focusing on 3 key parts. Firstly, defining task objective and content. The initial step in constructing our reading task involves defining clear objective and content. This stage is crucial as it sets the foundation for the task. We have specifically chosen to assess reading skills among second-year undergraduates studying civil engineering at UTM. Our question encompasses various writing patterns like chronological, compare and contrast, and cause and effect, aligning the task with our measurement goals. Moving on to the second stage, item development. Item development is where we craft the actual questions or tasks for the task. We have selected multiple choice, open-ended, and closed-ended questions to include in our test. Moreover, we also create answer rubrics so that we can use it in the future when we are marking. Then reviewing and revising items meticulously is critical as the quality of each item directly impact the test validity and reliability. Lastly, the final step involves setting scoring and standards to evaluate test performance effectively. We determine scoring methods and section marking and establish time limit and administrative details for test takers. These steps ensure the test accurately measure the intended knowledge or reading skills and provided a fair standardized assessment that we targeted.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Sofea and now I'll be explaining about the steps taken to ensure the test high validity and reliability. Several steps has been done. First, the test was presented to the expert before the administration of the test. This is to guarantee that the test content measured what it is intended to measure. This is called as content validity. Second, A clear and standardized set of instruction was provided in the task. This is to ensure that each task taker understood the instructions clearly. And lastly, the administration of the test was being done physically or face to face to prevent any cheating issues. And also, it was done to the test taker with the same background of education.
Now we'll be moving on to the findings. As shown in the histogram, we can see the total score frequency of the items. So firstly, items 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 10, and 18 was 14. Meanwhile, items 4, 6, and 17 were 13. Next, items 19 and 20 stated 10 as the total frequency, followed by items 16 with 9 frequencies, then items 5 and 9 were 7. Next, items 11 and 12 were 5. Lastly, items 13, 14, and 15 were 4. Moving on to the basic statistical for central tendency and measure of dispersion. So the central tendency of the test involve such as mode, median, and mean scores. Firstly, the mode for all items 1 to 20 was 1. Secondly, the median score for items 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 was 1. Meanwhile, for items 5, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 was 0. Lastly, the mean scores were 0.93 for items 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 10, and 18, followed by 0.87 for items 4, 6, and 17. Subsequently, 0.67 for items 19 and 20, then 0.60 for item 16, next 0.47 for items 5 and 9. Likewise, 0.33 for items 11 and 12. Meanwhile, 0.27 for items 13, 14, and 15. In the measure of dispersion of the test involves range, variance, and standard deviation. For the range for all 20 items was the same, which is 1. Meanwhile, the value of variance and standard deviation. Items 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 10, and 18 scored the lowest value, which were 0.067 and 0.26. And item 9 scored the highest values, which were 0.267 and 0.52.
Next, we'll be moving on to the item difficulty. Based on the calculation made, 10 out of 20 items are low difficulty items. 7 of the items are moderate difficulty items, and the remaining 3 items are the high difficulty items. Hence, it shows that the difficulty level of the item in this test was inconsistent and required improvement and revision. For item discrimination, 8 out of 20 items were categorized as poor and should be eliminated or revised, and 2 of them are categorized as marginal items that require some modification, and another 2 of the item are reasonably acceptable item but may require a bit of modification and revision, and the remaining 5 item categorized as very good item with a discrimination index of 0.4 and above.
I will discuss the finding from our analysis of the reading test and the necessary amendments to improve its effectiveness. The first finding is inconsistency in test item difficulty. We found a significant disproportions in the levels of difficulty across the test item. For high difficulty question, we need to simplify the language and instruction. Conversely, low difficulty questions should be made more challenging by incorporating complex reading cooperation and requiring multiple skills to answer. Next, time taken to complete the task, the average completion time was only 30 minutes, much less than the allocated 45 minutes. This suggested that the items might not be difficult enough or not very high level for the task taker. The task taker also might not fully utilize the time. To address this, we should include questions that require deeper comprehension and critical analysis to ensure thorough engagement with the material and full utilization of the time. Lastly, external influencing performance. The test administered after a 2-hour exam likely causing brain fatigue and affecting performance. To mitigate this, future tests should be scheduled when test takers are most alert and capable. In conclusion, our evaluation indicates that the reading test requires several modifications. By making this adjustment, we can develop a more accurate and reliable test.
That's all from us. Thank you.